Guys, how y'all doing today? Well, baby, if your name is Corey Gamble, you are not taking those childbearing hips and walking into the wind without a penny. Now, if you guys didn't see my last video on there, Corey is demanding a payout. However, Kris was looking at him like, have you lost your mind? I'm not giving you anything. As a matter of fact, I'm not even giving you a penny to buy a new pair of Spanx. Well, guess what? Sources are saying that Corey has upped the ante, and he's saying, baby, I'm not just spilling your secrets, I will spill all the girls' secrets. Yeah, that's right. I was there when Kim was slumming it with Pete. I was there when Courtney was going through it with Scott, and what's going on between Courtney, Kim, Chloe, and Travis Barker. I was there when Kylie and Kendall were fighting. I was there when Kylie overlapped Tyga with Travis and then overlapped Travis with, well, I don't know if they overlapped, but with Timothy Chalamet. I know what's going on. And Kendall, I know you only look like you're selling Casa Amigos, but baby, I saw what happened too. That's right. Corey is saying, Kris, if you don't pay up, I'm not just telling all your business, I'm telling all your daughter's business. Now, here's the thing. When I first heard this, I was like, first of all, I hope you do it, right? But also, I was like, did Corey really got the guts to do that? Well, baby, they are saying that Corey, the first thing that Corey is going to release is what really happened that time Kris was accused by her bodyguard of cheating on Corey and trying to bed him, but the bodyguard was like, ew, no. Now, if you guys don't know what's brought this all about, well, let me just tell you. Sources are saying that Kris has a new face. Kris looks 35 in the face and the neck, and she's working on the tatas and everything on down. Baby, she is literally on her death becomes her, right? She is going to look like she's 35. She said Corey was fine and his silk pajamas were fine when she looked like a very well-maintained, what is she, almost 70-year-old woman. There's a 25-year age difference between Corey and Kris, if you didn't know. Well, guess what? Now that she looks 35 again, she's looking at Corey and is said to be disgusted with him, saying his body looks out of shape. She thinks she wants a hot, young stud. You know, Kris is, if you can believe the stories, Kris's blood runs hot. She is said to be disgusted by Corey. She thinks he's sloppy. She thinks he doesn't take care of himself. And she thinks that she deserves somebody that looks like a 25-year-old stallion. Well, Corey is saying, I gave you the best years of my life. You ain't just going to throw me away after I gave you my youth and did all this stuff. All I can say to that is, Corey, we told you to stop eating the cornbread a long time ago, but you didn't want to listen. You got to stay in fighting shape. When you with a billionaire, mogul, maker, mother, whatever you want to call Kris Jenner, told you to put that cornbread down, told you to not have a second helping of collard greens. Well, I guess collard greens are keto, but I told you to put the cornbread down. The cornbread and the fried catfish, I know for a fact, is not keto, but you ain't want to listen. We said stop eating the apple cobbler. Stop eating the peach cobbler. You still ain't want to listen. And now look at you, threatening this woman. If these sources are going to be believed to tell all with 10 years, you should be ashamed of yourself, but I still am going to have a book club if you do it. Okay, so I was asking on the street, wait, what rumors? And I'm going to actually read you what happened because this was actually a lawsuit. Now, getting into what was said, again, Corey is sick of Kris's humiliation. He did it when she thought that she would always come home to her, and he thought that was he at one point thought that that was the best she could do. But now that Kris knows she can do better, baby, it's a whole new ball game. Get this. They said sources claim Corey feels underappreciated, especially after devoting the last decade to Kris as her protector. Protector from what? The mean streets of Calabasas? Corey, go sit yourself down. Only Corey could come in to Calabasas. Protector for what? And when he walked in, all he heard is, it's the Thuggish Ruggers Ball. It's the Thuggish Ruggers Ball. Anyway, right? Her business partner, Corey, rubbing her feet while she's trying to figure out how she's going to expand Kim's empire, is not a business partner. I hate to tell you, if you had to sit on your knees and rub her feet and make her a gin and tonic or a vodka, she looked like she drink vodka cranberries. Make her, no, I'm sorry, a vodka martini with 3 olives, that is not a business partner. Her confidant, now I do believe that, and her partner in life, once a respected talent agent. I'm going to need to see the receipts on that, but let's continue. We'll come back to that. Corey put his own career on pause to be by Kris's side during some of the biggest scandals and crises. However, he allegedly feels that loyalty hasn't been met with respect or the compensation he believes he deserves. Oh, he said Kris constantly ridicules him in public and he's not taking it anymore. He refuses to be her doormat, and now everyone knows the score. It's just a matter of time before they go their separate ways. But Corey is not walking away quietly. And you know how I believe that? Because I can see them thunder thighs rubbing together again. Corey's body is tea. I believe they took that picture to all the plastic surgeons, but Corey walking around, because you know those silk pajamas, probably walking away mad as those silk shorts that he likes to wear. Remember when Kris Jenner, just to make him feel like something, gave him a Dolce & Gabbana silk pajama collab that I don't think anybody bought, right? Just walking away as those silk pajama bottoms be rubbing up tighter and tighter in between his thighs, just rising on up. Anyway, Corey's not walking away quietly. He feels he deserves a nice payday. He reasons he deserves it after having been Kris's protector again. Business partner. Assistant. I do believe that. Anyway, right? Oh, get this. He's demanding compensation, or he's going to spill the Kardashian-Jenner secrets that could turn this breakup into one of the family's messiest public dramas yet. They're saying the first sign he is going to bring up is saying what really happened between the former bodyguard that sued Kris and Kourtney, but he sued Kris for SA and psychological torture. Kris ended up settling with him, it looked like, right? First she said, I'll never settle. And then it looks like she settled, right? But they were saying there was something untold. And the funny thing is, I want to hear the whole story of what went down, because this was why Kris and Corey got together in 2014. I believe all this happened in 2016 or 2017. And the funny thing is, this looks like Kris Jenner's type. You know, they're always listening to old jams and Keith Sweat and whatnot. He looked like Keith Sweat, or like he looked like he was doing it back in the day, right? So, you know, it's just Kris's type. Anyway, right? Mark McWilliams, a rapper turned security guard for the Kardashians, this is back in the day, filed a $3 million lawsuit against Kris for alleging. Oh, wait, so he sued in 5 years ago? 2018. For allegedly she grabbed his buttocks, exposed herself to him, and provoked him. In an amended complaint filed in 2018 in Los Angeles Superior Court, he added to his allegations, alleging that Kris SA'd him while they were outside in her Bentley. And she drove a white Bentley back then. Corey is threatening to give the real deal, and he said this is just, if sources can believe, that this is just the tip of the iceberg. Listen. Now, Kris said this was categorically baseless and but let's hear what he got to say. He said there was a particularly shocking incident on the morning of October 22nd when Kris went out to her car and ordered him to sit in the passenger seat of the car. Now, while Kris was driving, she began making comments to the plaintiff of a flirtatious and overtly sexual nature. Without warning, she placed her right hand on McWilliams' upper left thigh, and groin area in a manner that was openly sexually offensive. Kris, pay Corey his money, but it's not over. After that, she then moved her right hand over his upper inner left thigh and his groin area. The complaint also alleged that he was shocked and offended by her essay and tried to get away from her. But as he moved his body away, Kris's right hand came in contact with his inner groin and genital area. She did all this while she was driving. Yo, if this is true, Kris is a pro. He was shocked and offended and emotionally distressed by her wild and brazen actions, and at no time was it consensual. You guys, they said that Kris was constantly and frequently causing her body to come in intimate physical contact of his body. Now, here's the funny thing, right? They settled out of court, or it looks like they settled out of court, so nobody really knows this is true. And Kris did her best to draw attention away from it. However, Corey is saying, baby, this is just the tip of an iceberg because there is a pattern. Now, here's the thing. The sources aren't saying that Kris is like another Diddy, but Kris like to have her way with the handsome men around her. And remember, also, Corey is threatening to even tell Kris's true feelings about Brody. Yes, Caitlyn Jenner's son, right? Remember that episode where Brody was like on a boat with all of them, and Kris Jenner came and tried to put suntan oil on Brody and was like, "Oh my God, and was like massaging his back, and she was like, "Your back is so broad like your father's." Wow. And it was so gross that Brody was like, "Ew, get away from me." And all the girls were like, "Mom, what is wrong with you?" Kris always seemed to really have. This is the same woman that had Rob Kardashian licking her toes or kissing her toes on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. This is the same woman that thought it was cute and used to brag that Rob had a crush on Kim. And then remember that episode when Rob Kardashian bragged about sleeping with the winner of a Kim Kardashian lookalike contest? And remember when Khloe and Rob had that weird my brother, my lover thing where she was like, "Well, would you F a Khloe Kardashian lookalike? I want to know." Like, again, there's a lot going on in that family. And Corey, if he doesn't get his money, he's saying he's going to say anything. Now, do I believe all these rumors? I don't know if they're true, but I do know that all of these articles in the paper basically saying the same thing about Corey wants his money and he's sick of the way Kris is treating him. I think Corey is trying to get a message through I think he's trying to get a message through in all of these articles about, hey, give me my money. Again, I hope he writes that tell-all book. It will fly off the shelves. Oof. It will fly off the shelves. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think of this comment. This breakup seems to be heating up. We'll see if they get back together. But right now, Kris thinks she can do better than Corey, and maybe she can. But Corey says, "I'll tell you one thing, you are leaving me before moving on to another man. That's all I know." Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm going to be following this. I'll talk to you later. Bye.